My father passed away. My boyfriend and I are expecting a baby in January. He came a little bit early, and by a little bit I mean like 3 months early. Really scary to know when your body is doing things that you can't control. I touched him through the plastic that they had over me. I heard his little cry and hold his little hand that literally goes up my pinky. And to feel like loved and that I didn't leave her, you know?
I can go ahead and go over the paperwork with you guys and the teaching, and then we'll have you out of here.
That means we can take him home?
Yeah!
Hi, Papa, you're gonna be wire free. Whoa, no wires.
What do you think, huh? Get this from where we were 11 weeks ago. Oh my gosh.
Nova has been really sick. Weirdly enough, like a type of lymphoma. At this point, I'm like really just defeated. I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm trying so hard to push past all this stuff going on because of Nova being gone and everything that happened here. I want to get out. It's like so unfair because she's such a sweet dog. She represented to me was like my pregnancy journey. She was with me when I was on bed rest. I felt so bad for her because they were like all over her. It's like it's this constant like pull in my heart that I need to film things, but then when I film things, I'm like not in it because I'm doing it quickly and I'm trying to get it out. We just got pre-approved.
We did.
Enter. Are we gonna do it? There's like a little one. What? Oh my god. It's a boy.
Hey, congrats, Nay.
Thanks, Z. Hi. Hi, Aria. We lost the baby.
Statistics for successful marriage are not fantastic. When you lose a child, the odds and likelihood get worse of having like a successful marriage.
Hi. I feel like I've already been talking to you guys because I already started vlogging, so this is like, hey again, but this is actually gonna be my first video back. So, hi. Haven't seen you guys in a minute. First of all, thank you for coming back, and thank you for, you know, supporting me through, I would just say life at this point. It's been a lot, and I'm already getting emotional. I did not expect to get emotional in this video, but I don't know, I've just been like super, like just all over the place. Like, you guys have seen everything. I'm very open with what I've been through, and I think this past little bout, I definitely held a lot more in, and just did a lot of like internal thinking, which like dove me down this like very, very awful path and destructive mindset, and it really like took such a toll on me. And something that I always go back to is like 2020 and where I was like in the middle of everything with COVID and stuff. As much as that moment was such a hard moment in my life, like it actually was really great, and like a weird sense of just self-reflection, grief, like being able to grieve on my own, and just kind of figure out myself without anything. Like the world literally shut down, and I had time to kind of just play around with who I am and internalize a lot, but like in a secluded way without the pressure or need for like doing much, just because like I said, the world shut down and my job like really dove, and I felt like super close with you guys and like open, and like everything on that side was going really well. I think I handled it a lot better, and now obviously I have like so much more added responsibility with like a child and being a mom, being a partner, and, you know, being a part of another family. And I don't know, I would say social media is definitely different, but is it really? Like, it's just constantly ebbing and flowing. I don't know why I felt so disconnected from my job in the past, like I would say, year. I think it's just because of where I was mentally. I just was super, super depressed. I had this like dark cloud looming over me where I would pretend and act, and I would have days where I was out and about, it seemed like, but deep down I was just really like struggling and fighting really hard to try to like, I would say live, like honestly. I'm kind of diving already into things, but I kind of want to break this video down a little bit better so that my mind isn't just like all over the place and discombobulated. I just actually talked about the first one, and that's my headspace. My headspace right now is so clear. I feel like I am where I am supposed to be, where I belong, and that's something that I've dealt with before, where I leave and then I realize like I'm just, I don't know, I'm doing things sometimes for the wrong reasons, or I put a lot of pressure on myself to like uphold a certain, I don't even know. I'm always constantly wanting to like up my game, improve, and like that's a good thing, but sometimes I can like be following things not for a sense of peace, but for like growth, if that makes sense. And growth for what if it doesn't bring me joy or happiness? Now, I've dealt a lot with death in the past few years, and that's something that if you've never been through it, you don't quite understand, which is fine. And unfortunately, I feel like this is really a tough thing to say, but everyone eventually will go through something. That really does open up your eyes to like what's important and how like short life is, and sometimes that requires sacrifices. You have to like understand and know yourself enough to understand when something is like pulling or tugging you, and for me like that happened, and I couldn't like not listen to it, but it caused a lot of like strife in my life, which I'll talk about. The tough decision and what led to it. So the tough decision was to leave North Carolina. We ended up selling our home, and that's a big decision because you put a lot into that home, and it requires a lot of work and money and time. When I decided that I didn't want to be there anymore, I felt like I let a lot of people down, but it was something that I just couldn't not listen to. Like, I just knew if I were to stay there, I would just like rot away as a human, and it was slowly happening. And I'm not necessarily putting it on North Carolina or the home. It's just something that in my heart, I don't even know how to describe it. I was not content. It was something that I feel like I made a mistake in doing, and unfortunately, like obviously that mistake affects other people, and it's not always about me and stuff, but at what extent do you allow your mistakes to keep going when you know that like if you keep going that route, it's just gonna get worse? I did a lot of like weighing options and like struggling and like feeling a lot of guilt, and I finally just kind of was like open with everyone in my life, and I'm like, I literally, like I can't keep doing this. Like this is not who I am, and I'm like losing myself. And it was tough. Like, I've never felt so low about me, and it's so weird because I've been through so much in my life, but I've never felt like I lost track of like who I was or was confused. I'd almost had like an identity crisis, trying to find myself and trying to be an old version of myself and trying to go back and all this stuff, and I just kept getting so frustrated because I felt like I didn't even know who I was. I was like inventing myself because of the mistake I made and trying to just go with it, but again, I was just digging myself down this grave of like discomfort and unhappiness. What hit the nail on the head, is that the saying? I don't even know. The turning point was when I went through my miscarriage, and that was like the one thing that I feel like was holding me, like maybe this is supposed to be and it's gonna happen, and like I don't know, like it makes sense on paper, so much sense logically, to like have a home with a family and, you know, build that. Having a home as a millennial, especially a home with like 5 bedrooms, 3 acres, like it just sounds so good. But when that happened, I was like, wow. And I like, anytime you go through any sort of death, you really do reprioritize your life, and you make, for me, like, I probably should have waited a little bit, but that was one of my things I learned in therapy, was I make really drastic decisions, and I like kind of freak out, and I change, like I need change. Like I just go into like action mode of like, okay, this isn't working, I'm not happy, like how can I fix this? I'm so used to just having, you know, obviously no repercussions to my actions, and I say always, but I genuinely generally make really good decisions in my life. Like everything that I've felt an urge or pull towards, I work really hard and I accomplish it, and I'm really proud of myself for that. But now it's like I have other humans that are coming along with me, and it's a joint decision. It's not all about me. It's a domino effect where it's like, okay, you have to include everyone now in this decision, and it like just overcomplicates it and adds a lot of pressure, honestly, which is fine. Like that just comes with having loved ones, and I think that's okay. But that was like a huge struggle for me. A couple things that I felt were not sitting right with me was I felt like the home itself had a lot of work to do. It was a big home. I've always been a minimal person, and I've just realized like it's a lot. Like I was gonna spend the next probably 5 to 10 years, you know, dedicating a lot of my time and money into this home. I just am more of an experience kind of person. I like working, I like spending time with my family, and just the amount of money and time that home required, that's just something that you learn as you get older. Like it was our first home, and it was a big home. It was like a dream home that we got as our first home. And most people, you know, start pretty small and then they get up and they kind of learn their way up. But yeah, I just realized, like, do I want to spend and like fill up this home with just material? I don't know, I just looked at it as like very material. The isolation of it all, especially going through my miscarriage, was really, really tough. I'm used to people around. Like I grew up in the suburbs, and then in most of my adult life I lived in like cities. So I don't know, like I was around a lot of people, and so that isolation really took a toll on me. Felt this during COVID too. Like isolation just really messes with your head. It's almost like, you know how people have like weather depression and like the weather affects their mood? For me, my environment and like outside of where I live affects me so much. What I see on a day-to-day basis, if it's happy and vibrant, I feel more alive. And I do spend a lot of time indoors, and I'm more of an introverted person, so when I have that and that on the outside, I don't get like the balance of the two, and it just becomes really isolating and really not good for me. I also was spending a lot of time driving places, so like by the time I would, you know, go get groceries or pick up Bryson, it was like a trek, and then I like my whole day was gone. I just felt like I was living but not really. Now a lot of people are asking about my relationship, like where's Xander? We're still together. We are in therapy. We talked a little bit about, you know, our struggles, and we realized like we definitely grieve differently. Obviously my hormones kind of went out of whack. I was not myself. I don't think he was himself. Going through that as a couple is just really, really tough, especially when you guys just have different grieving processes. And that's kind of what I feel like it boiled down to. We were not the kindest to each other, but at the same time, I know that that's not who we are. Yeah, I remember going to therapy the first session, and we just like laughed at something the therapist said, and it felt so refreshing, because when you're going through like moments of hardship, you think like it's your world forever and it's never going to change, and you're stuck there just because you're in it. It's so heavy. The fact that we were able to laugh and smile was like such a freeing feeling, and being like, oh my god, like I still have, you know, life in me. Like I know that sounds so dramatic, but it like after everything, like I don't know, I turned 30 during that time, and as a woman, when I looked at myself in the mirror on my 30th birthday, I just cried, because I was like, I don't know who I am. I've never felt so low. I don't feel confident. I'm not myself. Like it was just the weirdest feeling I've ever experienced in my life, and I never want to go back there ever again. Something I would tell someone if they were going through this is like, really do seek therapy sooner rather than later, because that just made such a world of a difference. Yeah, I love Xander with all my heart. He's just been such a blessing in my life, and I feel like I don't know, like it could have gone really bad, and he's been amazing as a father and a partner. And I just like, I missed him in those moments when you're both kind of struggling. And like I said, it's like a cloud, and I don't know, it's just, it was such a great feeling to like connect with him and like laugh again, and felt like I had my home back, like, because I'm talking about moving in homes in Florida and North Carolina, but like at the end of the day, my family's my home. And when you feel like you lose that too, like, it's just really scary. And so I fought really hard, and so did he, to make sure that, like, you know, we remember why we love each other and all that stuff. And I miss him a lot. He'll be back. He's just dealing with like the closing of the house and stuff, and it's been weird not having him here for sure, because like I said, he's my home. So yeah, that was really, really tough. I want to talk a little bit about ego and pride. When you make a really big decision that a lot of people are striving for, or that they're really proud about you for, or that you've accomplished in yourself and like you're proud, when you go up the ladder in life and you realize like maybe that's not what I want, or that's not what I'm, even if you spend so much time and like investments on that specific thing, and you realize like, you realize like, this is not what I want, something's wrong. Like I said, the longer you stay in that, like the worse it's gonna get, and like you're just gonna keep digging and digging. And I found myself in that situation, and there was a sense of pride and ego of like, oh, I have to tell everyone on my channel, and they're gonna be like, oh my god, she's moving again, and da 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 da, and like I could just hear it already. And like usually that doesn't really affect me, but I've gotten more of it, which sometimes I feel like if I hear more of it on my channel, maybe there's some truth to it. And so like I knew that was gonna start affecting me when you go down like that, especially like buying to renting, or like a home to an apartment, or like a move that you paid for and you got everyone hyped for and you had plans for, and people are now like emotionally involved. When you take that away, like that hurts you and it's a big moment for you, but you kind of hold everyone else's emotions and you feel guilty about it. That was like a huge thing. But again, like it's life. Like you're gonna have money, you're not gonna have money, you're gonna have things, you're not gonna have things, you're gonna succeed, you're gonna fail. It's a yin and yang. It was just more so like, I think a lot of other people's emotional hold on like my accomplishments that kind of took a toll on me as well. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I am now sitting here looking at this beautiful Florida view, my home. I am really, really happy. I just finished up like the move-in vlog / apartment tour / what we're doing, like plans for the apartment. I think I've talked about it in that video, but this is definitely more of a temporary move until we figure things out. But I'm gonna like elongate that. Like it's gonna be a long temporary process to make sure that next time we're making like better decisions. Yeah, we're just gonna take things slow, figure things out. We're getting back on our feet and just living. I'm excited to just live again. I love you guys so much. Thank you, seriously. And I know that some of you guys have been here through so much, literally like OGs, and it's pretty amazing that we're all kind of like growing together, and it's super special to me. This is really awesome that I get to do this and share these things with you guys in life. And like, this is what it's all about to me, is moments that are super vulnerable like this. And yeah, it's just like, it's real, you know, it's real life. So yeah, I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys watching to the end. If you did, give me a high five emoji. Let's do something fun. All right, so comment like a high five emoji. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in a future video, like my next video, like pretty soon. Bye guys.